Good morning and welcome back. You might be wondering, Mr. Sayre, why do you have a headset on your head? I wanted to make sure that the recording quality, the audio was good for this video. It's going to be a little bit different. Math's going to be a little bit different today. What we're going to be doing is making some tangrams, and you might have played with tangrams before, but we're going to make some for ourselves, and then we're just going to have the opportunity to play around with them, have some fun. There will also be an activity online that uses tangrams, but today's lesson is just how to make tangrams. So let me go ahead and flip my camera down so that you can see what we're working with. You're going to need a piece of paper. It can be a scratch piece of paper. It can be just a blank piece of paper like I have here. You could get some binder paper, and we're going to talk about how we're going to use this. So the very first thing is we're going to need to turn this piece of paper into a square. In order to do that, we're going to take one of the corners and we're going to fold it diagonally. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, a couple tips. The better and more accurately you fold this, the better the end product is going to be. We're going to go ahead and give this a nice crease. So you can make it nice and strong. I always like to take my nail and rub my nail on the fold. And we're going to do that on this one because we're going to eventually tear this line. But right now it's just going to be a reference. One of the nice things about this video is if you are on a step, you can always pause it and you can watch the step over and over again. So the next step for getting our paper to be a square is you'll see this little edge right here. We're going to fold the paper on this edge. And you can fold it over this way so that you're going over the edge. Personally, I like to fold it the other way. So I'm going to flip my paper over and I am going to fold it until I get just about to where I want to be. And I'm going to line up this page right here with the edge. And again, I'm going to crease it down. And I want to make this nice and sharp. The sharper you make it, the easier it'll tear. So I use my nail. I'm going to go ahead and crease it down really good. And then I'm also going to flip it back over. I'm going to unfold it at this part. Fold it over the other way on that same fold line. And again, crease it down with my nail. And that way, that helps really make sure that I'm going to tear it on that spot. Now you can also use scissors and cut on the fold, but I'm going to be showing you how to do it without scissors. If you want to get an extra good crease, you can keep creasing it, running your nail across the page. If you keep doing that over and over again, eventually it'll take some of the fibers off. It'll be super easy to tear this paper. I'm going to go ahead and say that's good, and I'm going to start tearing this paper. And what I like to do is I like to make it an angle so that this part of the paper is up, and then I pull them away from each other. Sometimes I'll use my finger to help push it a little bit. So now I have a square piece of paper. I got this little piece, and that's just scratch paper. I got a square piece of paper, and there's a diagonal fold on it. I'm going to make that fold stronger because I'm going to tear that in half. So I'm going to fold it the other way. Give it a nice crease. Since I'm going to be tearing this line. We already did a really good crease before, but if you want to be extra careful, you can fold it the other way and crease it again. The more you go over this with your nail, the easier it'll be to tear it, and the sharper of a line you'll have. And again, you can also use scissors. Now, sometimes on some of these folds, it might be hard to get it going, and so you might want to just get up to the top and just give it a little tear in the corner there. I think I'm actually going to flip this over and do it on this side and see if I have better luck there. Yeah, it's not quite going because it's on the corner. So we'll give it a little tear to start it. And now that it's got a little tear in it, it should come apart. Oh man, it's giving me a hard time. I'm going to tear it a little more. There we go. Now, it didn't quite tear on the line. I tried to make sure my crease was really good, but you can see there's a little bump. So my tangram's not going to be perfect, but it should be good enough that I can tell what's going on. It's more important that I get the shape as close to correct as possible. So I'm folding where I'm supposed to be folding. Okay, we now have two triangles. They have one right angle on them. These are quite nice triangles. So we're going to fold this in half. We're going to take one triangle, set it aside. We're going to use one of these triangles. We're going to fold it in half diagonally. So here I've got the long side facing me. I'm going to fold that in half. So we fold this right in half, matching up the other side. Go ahead and give that a good crease. I'm going to flip it over. Get another good crease. And now I can tear this on this line that I've made. Oh, right at the end it fell apart. Okay, now I've got these two bigger triangles. I'm going to set these two aside. Okay, I've got my first couple pieces. I'm going to come back to this one. Now for this piece, we're going to start the same way. I'm going to have that long side facing me. I'm going to fold it in half. Have these corners matched up. And when I fold it in half this way, I'm not going to make a strong crease like I've been doing. I'm not going to be tearing it yet. And so I'm just going to put a normal crease just with my finger. And then I'm going to unfold it. This has given us a guideline. And I'll try to line it up on my table so that you can maybe see what I'm talking about. So I've got a line going through my paper right here. I'm going to take the top, the point here, and again, I have that long side facing me. I'm going to pull this in, and it's going to match up that corner. It's going to point right to where that crease is. I'm folding across the line. Okay. This one I'm going to go ahead and give a hard crease on. I'm going to flip it and do it again. Sorry about my dog freaking out earlier. She's still learning when it's okay to bark, which is usually never, but we'll get there. Okay, now that I have my crease, I folded it twice. I'm going to be tearing it again. And again, this is kind of a hard spot to do it, so you might even get a little pair of scissors and start off that fold. Like I said, though, I'm going to try to do this without using any scissors, because I don't know if you guys have scissors or not. Handy. Okay. There we go. I've got this little triangle and I've got a trapezoid. This little triangle's done. This is another one of my pieces, so I can set that one aside. I'm going to take this, and there's that fold still that I have in half. Now I'm going to fold it really hard and crease it so that I can tear it. I didn't do this before because I didn't need that crease going through this little triangle. So it just has a fold instead of this rather intense crease. I'm going to be turning this trapezoid into another two trapezoids that have right angles on them. I'm going to go ahead and tear that in half. That was a good one. Okay, so now I've got these two trapezoids. I know they're trapezoids because the opposite sides are parallel, and then these got these other two sides that are not. And we're going to be splitting these into two different shapes. For the first one, just pick one of your triangles. You're going to take the long pointy edge. So we have this longest edge. We're going to fold this really long edge in half. So we're going to take that point and put it in the corner. We're going to end up with a square and a triangle. So go ahead and crease that. Make sure I get it in the right spot. Give it a hard crease because we're going to be tearing it. Flip the fold. And again, you can pause this video anytime to slow it down a little bit. Now we're going to tear along this line. And we have our square and a little triangle. And we can set these shapes aside because these shapes are done. With this other one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a parallelogram and a triangle. And so again, we're going to look at this long angle. And instead of folding it in half like we did before, we're going to fold it diagonally so that this side and this side are matched up. So we're going to match up those sides. Now it looks like I wasn't careful on one of my steps, so my shapes are maybe just a little bit weird, a little bit off. Give it a nice crease. And go ahead, flip that fold over and crease it again. And then we're going to tear on that fold. I'm going to have to give this a little bit of a start. And now I can pull it apart. There we go. And that's it. We now have all of our pieces for a tangram set. So the first challenge is putting this back together into a square. We've just folded it up and made all of our cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you want to pause and try it without seeing how to do it, go ahead and give this video a pause right now. And I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, I'm not going to match up all of my folds exactly where they were. That would just take a lot of extra time. So the first thing is these two big triangles we're going to put together like this. And then we're going to take, of the remaining triangles, the biggest one, I'm going to set it aside. And I'm going to try to rebuild my trapezoid. So we put this here. One of these, let's see, how was it? No, not quite. It's this, it goes like this way. This one goes here. And then we're going to have our square next. So the square in that triangle should match up as far as the lengths go. And this last triangle is going to go here. And then this last triangle goes right here. And we've recreated our square. Now, people use these pieces, these tangrams, to make all kinds of different puzzles. And they'll say, I want you to try to make this shape. And it's really quite a challenge, but you can also make your own. So just explore with it. See how you can put the pieces together and try to make something new. Let's see if I can come up with something. It's been a while since I've played with tangrams. Let's see. This kind of looks like, oh, what does it look like? Somebody kneeling down, holding something maybe. I guess that's from my perspective. Let me flip it around for you guys. So to me, it kind of looks like somebody's kneeling down, holding something out. Got the head here, the arms here. There's their knee, their foot's over here. But you can arrange these in all kinds of ways, make different animals. And that's kind of what our activity today explores. So you're going to go ahead and spend some time looking at this online puzzle and building things with different tangrams. And you can also look online, type in tangram puzzles, and I'm sure there's all kinds of tangram puzzles. The trick is to not see the solution before. So that's our lesson for today. It's just exploring shapes. Have some fun with this. Play around. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. But until then, I want you guys to stay safe and, of course, have some fun. Bye.